All right, we're hot.
Yeah, we are.
Give me one more check.
Check.
Maybe a touch. Maybe a touch more Bradford, but every time I do that, whenever I listen, it's like you're way up there and mine's way down here, but I don't know. Shall we?
Let's do it.
This bill legalizes sawed-off shotguns.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to ShiftLess episode. I believe it is 118.
If you were right last time, you're right this time.
I'm so rarely right. That's why I know it's still not 120. I know it's more than 115.
Well,
and we're doing things a little bit differently today.
we out here.
We are actually, this is like classic stomping grounds for me from way back when.
Way back.
Tell you what, do that mic a little closer in, if you don't.
How about that?
That's a little better. I'm not sure what. It's not bad. It's just not. It's not your usual luscious, rich sound for some reason. But well, there we go. There we go. There's.
Good morning.
But usually our recording studio is a completely different environment.
That's
so
true.
things are changed up a little bit. But we are coming to you semi-live
From the stabbing cabin?
from Knob Hills Mountain Bike Trail, Dunham Trailhead.
Cross Timbers.
Cross Timbers Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I call it Dunham Road, but yeah, I guess it is the City of Flower Mounds Cross Timbers Trail. And I had to change things up a little bit because usually we record at Casa Verde, and a little bit of precipitation today.
It was a wee bit of precipitation.
What's the weather like today, Brad?
It's dry now. It was wet earlier.
Yep.
The creek is flowing.
The creek is flowing.
There's a little girl over here trying to get minnows.
I guess that's what they're doing. Man, there's a lot more activity here than I was expecting.
There is.
So it makes for an interesting backdrop.
Yeah. But there's also, we have to acknowledge how much room for activities there is in this van. Does it come in a big version? Oh, I did not expect it to be this big.
We got the biggest one.
Yeah.
We did get the biggest one.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I wish the seats swiveled. That's the only thing.
The seat swivel is on order for this one.
Oh, I was going to say, that way we could spin around and just kind of
Yeah,
stare
well-
into the chasm.
We'll talk about some of the upgrades because you think I'm kidding. I do have you in mind for some of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're faking it at the moment. So as Brad has alluded to, there has been an addition to the ShiftLess family. It is, I guess this is the ShiftLess Mobile, huh?
Yeah. We need to name this thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll let
needs a name.
maybe we'll let the audience do that.
Well, I'm not saying that we need to name it. I said it needs a name.
It needs a name. Okay. And those things are usually organic.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
So we did a thing. And my wife and I did a thing. This is
I thought y'all did the thing a long time ago.
once or twice,
3 times, if the math adds.
hopefully.
Yeah. One of them may be mailman. Who knows?
But yeah, so we have a van. We have a cargo van. It
Still looking for the candy, though.
yeah.
Too many windows to give out. free
It's
candy.
got the windows. It's got the windows. So originally, we were looking at true cargo vans, and my wonderful wife got all excited when she found a window van that was below our price range even.
What do they call this? Not being shitty or
Sure. No.
like you said, we were looking for true cargo vans. So if it has the windows but no seats, it's not a passenger van.
It's a window van.
That's literally what it's called.
It's called a window van.
Okay. See, I would have never known that had I not asked.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, this has been somewhat of a learning experience for us as well.
Yeah.
The way it started coming back from, well, while we were in Florida, Georgia, Jan had actually mentioned it because what we discussed while we were there, because we're probably going to head back that way for another extended trip in December. Don't know how that works out just yet. But she was interested in camping while we were there and taking the camper over. And I think on the drive back...
What is Jan's minimum definition of camping?
I mean, she tent camps.
She will tent camp?
Yeah, she's done it before.
Will she sleep on a pad, or does she have to have a cot? Or
an air mattress is sufficient, but she's not terribly picky.
Yeah.
So like when I used to have my little runaway camper,
the one with the taillight issues?
Always check the fuse.
Always check the fuses.
Oh, now we're going in the Wayback Machine. But there were a few, if you remember, it wasn't the roomiest of campers.
It definitely wasn't.
And when there were dogs involved, it's even less roomy.
Yeah.
So there were a couple of trips where we took that out, but we brought a tent as well. And she was fine sleeping in the tent.
Yeah.
And she's done that a few times. And
I have to ask, because my wife is way too fussy when it comes to all that. As we mentioned before we started rolling, Paula wouldn't. I think she slept in a tent maybe twice. And that was only because there was a camper there that she could chill out and sleep into.
Okay. So what are you asking? Oh, you're asking about Jan in general. Okay. I follow now. Okay.
I just didn't know if...
No, she's... I mean, she's not into dirt bagging per se, but she's like one of our Colorado trips. She ran up there in the Hyundai. Because I was already up there with like Rich and Jan B. And I was tent camping, and we had this really cool free camping area out of Buena Vista, Turtle Rock, really cool spot. And so we were doing some primitive camping, true primitive camping. And she slept in the car for that one. She threw a mattress in the back of the Hyundai, and yeah. So I mean, she's flexible.
That's cool.
Along those lines. I mean, like everyone else, she prefers a nice mattress. She prefers air conditioning. But she's pretty low maintenance. We're not going to put a full bath in this.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things that we were both in agreement on. That's a lot of space that we could use for other activities.
And it always, even as nice as I've seen them done, it always seems like a compromise.
It's beyond a compromise. Yeah. So that was the big hiccup. Hiccup's not the right word, but that was the big struggle when we got that last camper, which we're still going to have, and we'll talk about that some.
Yeah.
Was the bathroom setup.
Yeah.
She had originally said that she was going to have no part in a wet bath where it's the toilet and the shower together in one enclosure. But we ended up doing that, and it was the trailer that she picked out. So
if you can teach your woman to pee outside, you're winning at so many things.
That's not an issue in our household.
Yeah. My wife, I don't think I could pay her to pee outside. There's something to be said. There's a big value on a female that is not scared to pee outside. And I'm not talking about 17 Zimas in.
Understood.
I'm talking about,
understood.
But, all right. Sorry.
I've actually... So I'm going to have to dig up this picture now that you reminded me.
I don't think we need proof.
There was this one time... What had happened was we were out scouting, and Jan's like, I got to go.
Yeah.
And so we're out scouting, and she squatted next to the vehicle. I think it was the Subaru. I think it was when the Subaru was almost brand new. And when she got up and headed back to the car, there was a beautiful imprint of butt cheeks in the dust on the fender.
That's awesome.
So I have this memento picture on my phone somewhere. Maybe
good.
I better not make that our cover. I'll be in trouble then. But
good though.
So going back to where I kind of originally was, we are recording, right?
Yeah.
Good, thank God.
Sorry, I'm tangent boy, don't you know?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Jan had mentioned as we were coming back from Florida that a camper van would be really handy for trips like that, since we're probably going to be doing similar trips on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Let's start with I've got a litany of questions.
Go for it. Go for it. I have no agenda here.
Fuel mileage.
Don't know yet.
Yeah. But what's the advertised?
It's not. So this is technically a commercial vehicle. So
Okay.
they don't have to do the EPA numbers on them.
Is it a diesel?
Nope.
Gas?
This is gasoline.
Is it a six?
It is a 6-cylinder.
Flat six? Oh, V6?
I'm pretty sure it's a V6. I'm pretty sure it's Pentastar V6 that same one we had in the Jeep. And
It feels like it has a turbo on it, though.
Not to my, no.
Okay.
It does not. It's normal. It's it's fuel injected. It's not
Yeah.
normally aspirated. It's not. It's unturboed,
Unturbo.
unsupercharged, but it so far does amazingly well.
It seems like it has good pickup.
I've been extremely pleasantly surprised by the drivability
Yeah.
of it. You know, we kind of both agreed on the general concept of a van to start looking into and exploring,
Uh-huh.
and started looking at some of the pre-done conversion vans and what they call Class B campers and stuff like that. And I mean, we knew we weren't going to spend $150,000 on anything.
That's the problem is every time I see one that I like, I'm like, oh, I wonder how much this is. And it's like $180,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we talking about here?
And
I know it's a lot of work.
it adds up quickly,
Yeah.
but it's also when you start throwing all the stuff into it, you know, it adds up even quicker, even more.
Power.
The big thing that we opted to completely stay away from this one, because I knew if we went, it was just going to instantly add $50,000 to the build, no matter how or if we, well, it's still a build if we buy one built. We didn't go 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to,
Yeah.
it's a $50,000 add-on, generally speaking, at least.
I know a guy that can do it cheaper.
Do you?
It's a running joke. Sorry.
Okay.
I got a guy.
I got a guy. So we started nosing around at some of the pre-built ones. There's one that's really, really basic from a company called Thor, and it's the same van. It's the ProMaster van, but it's the 1500 and it's the short version, the 136-inch wheelbase. And you can get those for like 70 to 75 pre-built, but they're pretty basic,
Yeah.
which we were fine with. But we went and checked one out. It's like, no, we need a bigger van.
Yeah.
That's just not going to be big enough for us.
We're going to need a bigger van.
We're going to need a bigger van. And so then we started looking at the other stuff, and realistically, there's nothing pre-built that's going to meet our needs for under $100,000. And that's just, neither one of us could bite that off.
Stomach that, yeah.
It's like, and we looked at some other option. There's some pretty cool conversion kits out there. You could buy them flat pack, have them delivered to you, and put them together yourself. That was an option, and technically it still could be.
Yeah.
There was another company out of Colorado Springs that I was really interested in, and it's like a $30,000 to $40,000 kit with real nice stuff that you drop off the van and they knock it out in a couple days, sort of thing.
What kind of amenities does that offer?
Let's
start with electrical, because are you planning on shoring this? Are you planning on running a generator? You planning on having solar panels? You having battery banks? I mean, what's your energy consumption look like?
Yes to all of that.
Okay.
And different variables. So let's walk around. Okay, our basic camper build, first generation, and this is meant to be an ongoing project. So what I have on order, so let me lay out to people. What we have right now is 2023 RAM ProMaster, technically used but never titled, so it has 400 miles on it.
420 now.
Yep, probably 420.
And when I tell you this thing is an absolute shell, it is a shell.
Yeah, it's the 159. It's the ProMaster 3500, and it's a window van, so windows all the way around. We'll go more into that later. But it has and it's 159 extended. So it's the biggest. It's basically the biggest van you can get. I think Mercedes makes a 170 wheelbase extended that's a couple feet longer.
Yeah.
But we were pushing it with this, but so far it fits in parking spaces fine and everything like that. But it's just after the front cab, after the driver's and passenger seat, it's just an empty box. There's nothing in it.
Literally,
Right?
like they put interior and then they just went, nah, just right here. Nope.
Yep, and it's a box from there, and we're going to build it out from there over time. And the primary function is it's a camper van that we can take anywhere and sleep, but obviously it's going to do other things as well. One of which will be a content creation office and studio, and the idea for it being a podcast studio as well.
But it already is a podcast.
We broke the barrier there.
Yeah. It's fucking cool. I love seeing the blank canvas.
And this is most assuredly a blank canvas. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
It's so cool though. I mean, just seeing like all the attachment points and just seeing the structure itself, the bones, but it's endless possibilities. So cool.
So the first round of goodies coming for it, we touched on one. We have a swivel coming for the passenger seat, so we can turn that around. We have a floor liner. It's molded and made specifically for this bed, and that just rolls out. And so that'll be a little bit of sound deadening, but that's more to give dogs traction.
Sure.
To start off with.
Yeah.
Over time, we'll figure out what we want the permanent floor to be. Do
you realize how creepy we look sitting in the van at the park? All these kids are showing up.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting all these children.
I think it's bring your kid to the creek day or something.
Evidently. And yeah, I'm looking to get a license plate that says free candy, but what else do we have on the way? We have a single passenger seat from a Ford Transit, so it's got the built-in seat belt. Probably going to put towards the back of the sliding door there, facing this way.
Yeah.
So that when you swivel that chair, we'll have a lagoon table in between, so those people can face each other.
Yeah.
What else do I have on? Oh, I have the window covers that are coming, more so for the nighttime privacy aspect of things, but it will help keep the heat down to begin with as well. What else did I order? I ordered a bunch of stupid shit that's all coming in the next few days that will get us started and rolling, but with the idea of basically we're going to just start out with our camping gear.
Yeah.
And throw it down on the floor as needed. Going to get a hitch put on it.
You're going to put a split unit on this thing?
That I haven't. AC is my big question at the moment. It will eventually have an air conditioner. For the time being, I'm going to use my Icy Breeze swamp cooler when it's too hot. Oh, bug screens. I have bug screens on the way. So we can, and that's all like we're doing here. The whole idea, and this is why we do have the window van, is
so we can see all the children.
So we can see everything. That's the whole idea. And it's 80 something degrees.
It feels good.
And we've got all the doors open, all the windows open, and it's pretty comfortable. If we had any kind of fan going, it would be almost perfect.
No, it's 72 degrees.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
But this is the first reprieve in weather we've had.
And it's high humidity with the rain. 90, no doubt about
90%.
it. 90%. So, yeah, version 1 is the podcasting studio.
Yeah.
But it'll be a more formal podcasting studio. Hi there. The plan is we're going to fold up twin beds over the wheel wells. And when they're folded up, it gives us the flexibility to use it as an actual cargo van.
That was Kevin.
But I'm also able to just hook up to the Spinistry trailer and pull everything with it. I'm able to hook up with the camper and pull it. Somewhere down the road, I may upgrade the hitch. It has the towing capacity for it, where I could flat pull the truck too if needed. so that I do have a scouting vehicle.
Yeah.
But that's not a top of the list priority by any stretch of the imagination. Another option I have in mind, actually, it's not an option, it's a mandate. I know it's going to happen, but I'm going to need your help for it.
Okay.
This will be a food truck
Okay.
for Spinistry events, not
Yeah.
serving to the general public. This will be my chuck wagon that we've talked about
I
in
like
the past.
it. I like
But
it.
I'm going to need your help outfitting that.
Okay.
I've got some ideas for stuff I want to do, but definitely need that fleshed out.
Dude, I think you could do so much with so little.
And that's part of why we pulled the trigger on this. You're still doing the rat, right?
100%.
All right.
I need to get, so I had all these questions and I was going to preempt. Hey, I'm trying to record here, girl. God, that's a goose. Yeah, I still need to sign up. I haven't signed up.
You haven't signed up yet.
I wasn't worried that it was going to fill up, though. What are you capping it at?
1 million.
1 million? I think I can still make it. That being said, I've been keeping track of a lot of other races that aren't filling up, which I think is indicative of the times. Like even BT Epic, which is one of the ones that traditionally fills up overnight, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
They still have spots open, so
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's also just facts.
It's rough out there for the event promoter business
Yeah.
right now. And I'm not saying that for anyone to feel sorry about me. I'm not laying it out there like that. Yeah, like Jason and Wendy that were doing Mississippi Gravel Cup, they shut that down a couple weeks ago, so they're not doing that next year.
Wow. How
yeah.
long had that event been going?
I want to say they've been doing it 10 years,
Damn.
I think. And it's a series of events.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details behind it. Jason and I were kind of doing along the same lines. They're Spinistry-esque in the way they go. I'm not saying we're lockstep by it, but several events each year, very grassroots, but very community oriented. And so we've communicated quite a bit over the years on stuff. And I don't know all the details of the whys and the wherefores.
Mm-hmm.
I do know it's, the state of the industry has a good bit to do with it. But there's a chance that him and I may, now that I have the free candy mobile, may collaborate on some grassroots stuff in Mississippi, potentially as well, since I'll be going back and forth so much. So we'll see what happens.
I love Mississippi.
There. Rich was very, very impressed with our Mississippi roads when we were.
Mississippi's cool. It's pretty, but it's also socially behind.
That
I
is.
don't even know if that's acceptable to say, but
it's probably not, but I'm not going to disagree with you by any stretch. But there's a lot of that around. So Mississippi's not unique in that regard, but
We didn't know all this was going on. Sorry.
no, don't worry about that. It's perfect.
It's a public park.
We meet here on Wednesday morning for forest school.
Yeah. Sorry. We do a podcast.
Back to the class. What's your podcast?
It's called ShiftLess. It's all about bikes.
Bicycles.
Yeah. So.
We're a biblical forest school. We meet out here at 30 families and we head to the classroom. You know, the clearing out there where the forts are and stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
So glad to meet y'all. We'll be clearing out.
No, y'all are fine. Have fun.
Good to meet y'all.
Yeah. Have a good one.
that's funny. She's apologizing to us. We're the ones set up in the van next to the creek like a bunch of creepers.
Down by the river.
In a van down by the river.
So you're still doing the rat.
Yes. Caleb and I are still planning on party pacing.
All right, so let me run a hypothetical by you. You don't have to commit to anything. If you need to chew on it, you're welcome to chew on it.
Okay.
So one of the duties of this van in the long run would be support for our point-to-point adventures. Potentially, it's a personal vehicle. It's a personal camper van. So this is not a passenger bus so we're not selling return seats. I don't want anyone to ever interpret it that way, particularly my insurance company. But hypothetically, when we have extra seats available, friends of ours that may need a ride back home from like Tucumcari, for example, would be welcome to hop in. And if they wanted to buy a tank of gas or help us install a seat somewhere along the way, we'd be more than happy to whatever.
Well, I do want to chew on that, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
You're perfectly fine.
But in my mind, and I'll just unravel this real time, but in my mind, the whole goal of finishing was having my wife and my dog pick me up and Tucumcari.
If you're able to do that, that's perfectly fine.
Able?
What the last time you had said you didn't know how you were getting back home. Last time I heard from you
I
on
tell
that.
that woman to jump, and she says how high.
Do we need to drive back to the house and bring?
Does that sound tough? No, that has been the goal of the whole thing this whole time, was for me to finish, obviously.
Sure.
And to get my first hotel room in Tucumcari, and without her, and wake up the next morning and she's there.
Okay.
So
That's perfectly. I'm not trying to change your plans around.
So
And again, this would be a long-term This would be one of the flex options long-term for this. The first thing we have coming is that passenger seat.
yeah,
But I'm going to need help drilling holes in the floor.
yeah. Oh, I can definitely help with that. But I just started thinking real time, like, that would be cool. I know we probably can't do this, but I was going to say, if we could have a podcast on the way back from Tucumcari, kind of like breaking down the rat.
Or a podcast every night as you...
Oh, no, I'm going to have to call off on that. There's no way I'm going to ride 140 miles and set up camp and find food and then still have the wherewithal to have a intelligent, not that I ever have intelligent conversation, but
10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes each day, wrap up of the day.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you this bite right now. It was hard. I struggled. I wanted to quit, but here I am. Just cut that.
Just do that.
Just do it every day.
I am willing to bet if this is sitting right next to you at the campground that you're camping at anyway, that you won't have any problem breaking out your chair,
That's possible.
grabbing a beer out of my cooler,
That's
and chatting about your day.
That is possible.
Particularly if I have a way for you to make hot coffee in the morning too.
Yeah.
So-
I think I could be in for that.
So that's, so right now this van will be in Paris for the Paris overnight. This will be in Cartwright, Oklahoma for the Cartwright, Oklahoma overnight. And I'll probably do Arrowhead State Park as well with this. Whether I go all the way to Tucumcari or not, that's not decided
Yeah.
yet by any stretch of the imagination. But probably the first 3 nights,
Yeah.
I plan to have the van available.
I'm so excited, by the way. I mean, about the van, but also about Rat.
You should be. You should be.
It's one of those things like, I was thinking about this last night at real time while I was riding, and I was like, it's one of those things that every time I've heard, someone talk about the Rat, people that have done it, people that are thinking about it, it's always, I think most people think that's cool. And then the second thing they think of is, I wonder if I could do that. And in my mind, I've always thought, oh, I could do it. But I don't know. And so
You don't know until you know.
And so I'm ready to go find out. It's one of those things that it's been a long time coming for me. It's been on my bucket list for, like I said, since its inception. I wanted to do it the very first year. And here we are, 12, 14 years later?
So, I think 14 was our first year. So whatever the math is on that.
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah. And I'm finally, hopefully, going to start. So.
Actually, that makes it the 12th edition, doesn't it? If 14 was our first one.
Yep, I do believe so.
Very cool. Since DJ Caleb hasn't been here in forever.
That guy. I did see him on Sunday. He is still alive.
He is? Okay, that's good to know. Where's he at? Is he all set to go, or?
That guy lives stronger than me.
Well, I understand that. I
He's in
understand
great
that.
shape.
That part I understand, but he's always got life stuff going on.
He's in Oakland, California right now, I think.
Oakland? What?
Yeah, he was on vacation last week. That's why I wasn't present in Florida, in your stomping ground.
Okay.
But they were on the Gulf side, Pensacola, or one of those tourist towns.
Sure.
And then he got back on either Saturday. It must have been Saturday night because he rode with us shortly on Sunday. And then he left out Monday morning. Had to go to Oakland. It was like a last minute thing. I don't know. I think he got back. He's either getting back this morning or late last night. Either way, he's pulled in so many directions.
Right.
Regular.
Well, and that's what I was somewhat alluding to is is there a potential of anything getting in the way, or
I think the Rangers are out of it. I don't think it's mathematically possible.
I have not been following the Rangers at all this year. Is that even a thing?
They've been sucking so bad. They're mathematically completely out.
Gotcha. I have had zero interest in baseball this year. No doubt about it.
Yeah. The older I get, the more my interest in sports just wanes. Overall.
I'm 10 years older than you, so that's exactly what's happened to me. I think the last sports thing I cared about was Rangers World Series.
Yeah.
And I listened to the win on the radio in Big Bend, and it was like, all right. This is a good way to end it. I mean, it wasn't a conscious decision that I was done with sports, but it doesn't do anything for me anymore.
I'd rather watch a dissertation on rocks on YouTube or something.
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh, and I'm all up in the van conversion videos.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
I was holding the shed handle.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of content, I have to turn you on to something that I don't want to be too evangelical about this.
Sounds like you're about to be.
There is a show that I didn't realize had so many episodes that's done in conjunction with a clothing outfitting company called Huckberry. And the name of the show, I believe, is called Dirt. And the host is an ex-surfer guy, Josh. I don't know his last name. I can't remember his last name. But it's very reminiscent of Anthony Bourdain's shows because he goes to all these locations and he goes and visits farmers and artisans and kind of gets the lay of the land and then makes his way around and connects with people that are living off the land, people that are doing natural stuff like surfing or climbing or mountain biking or and then at the end, there's always a feast where he brings together all these elements because he goes to like tortilla factories or tequila factories or whatever's being made where he is. Like there's one that he goes to New Zealand. There's multiples in Japan. Like the one I watched last night was in Minnesota. And it makes me want to go to Minnesota.
Okay.
And it's the cinematography, the music, the narration, all the content just goes together so well, and it's such a delightful show to watch. I can't say enough good things about it.
This is a YouTube show or a Netflix show,
I
or
watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm sure it's available on other platforms, but like I said, I watched one, I don't know, like a year ago, and it just happened to come across on my feed, and it was one of those things I was doing something else, and I didn't realize there's probably 30 of them. So it's not just like you watch one and you're like, damn, I can't wait for another one.
Right.
There's a lot of them, and every one I've watched is tremendous. So I wanted to put that on your radar because it's worth checking out.
I will check it out. It is on my list. Dirt, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And I hate to make such a hyperbolic comparison with Anthony Bourdain because I know he's kind of the pinnacle in that whole. Yes, Dirt Huckberry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's on the list.
Josh Rosen is his name. And he's just like he's a bro dad. He's tatted up and But he's still humble and fun guy. That's a good show. I enjoy it.
Okay. On the list. I appreciate it. Speaking of Josh's, did you see that email I forwarded to you from our friend Josh Dean?
Yes, and you forwarded another email to Standby.
Standby.
Was that from Josh Dean?
I thought it was. That's what I remembered anyway.
E-bike at Gravel Champs? That's not it.
That's Justin.
Oh, COROS. Yes. Do you want me to read it?
Go for it.
Hey guys, listen to your most recent episode about Kevin being COROS Dura curious. I just switched from my Garmin Edge 840 Solar to a Dura about a month ago, so I figured I'd give you some input. That seems, just on face value, and just because of my sheer ignorance of the product, seems like a downgrade. Just that was my thought
Understand.
after reading the first sentence.
Understood.
The positives. The Dura's battery is the real deal. I've actually put it on a charger once in the time I've owned it, and it gets used almost every day. And following him on Strava, I believe it. The guy rides
Every day.
Its screen editing feature is on par with Wahoo, definitely better than Garmin. It is stupid simple to set up and use. The COROS app and platform are really nice, so nice in fact that I've ditched my Apple Watch in favor of one of their watches, which also happens to have a long battery of 15 days or so, which is tremendous compared to an Apple Watch.
To an Apple Watch it is.
Apple Watch, I think they just run way too many programs in the background and tracking and everything else, but I think even at my peak, my Apple Watch was like maybe 2 days, maybe 3. The COROS app and platform are really nice, so nice in fact that that's the same sentence, sorry. The price is astronomically better than similar units from Garmin and Wahoo. The screen readability is better than the Garmin 840 I was coming from, especially in sunlight. I've also heard that too. But I don't have a problem reading my Garmin day or night.
Okay.
It does that auto switch thing, but unless it's raining, then it's a struggle. But the COROS is not a touchscreen, right?
Not to my understanding, no.
It's just the one dial.
I think so. I haven't gone that in depth with it.
Yeah. So you haven't gotten one yet?
I have not.
Okay. You got a van instead.
I got a fan instead of.
I would opt for the van.
But we'll talk about that in a moment.
The negatives. Its integration partners are running focused, which means Ride with GPS isn't included for route imports, which is really strange because the platform, the unit is a cycling specific unit. So I don't know why all their program, maybe they're just trying to get their ecosystem up and running, because it's a relatively new piece of equipment, isn't it? Like maybe 2 years?
I'm actually right at a year right now,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, because the first time it came on my radar was our bikepacking guy, bikepacking.com.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I saw it. Okay, I've had to do it manually, talking about route imports. He said, which is a tad challenging, but not too bad once you know the ins and outs. There's a learning curve with everything.
Learning curve with everything.
During an activity, your functionality is automatically limited. No way to add sensors, turn on, off notifications, etc. Hope that helps you make an informed decision. Cheers, boys. That's very informative. I'm interested to hear more of a long-term rundown, especially coming off of the Garmin, and I wonder if Josh plans on oscillating back and forth between the Garmin and the COROS. And
Yeah, that's my first question, Josh. I assume you'll listen to this one eventually. Why did you opt to switch from the 840?
Yeah, I was wondering if he was having problems with the 840
or maybe it was just a curiosity thing, or I can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
Now, on my end, I have not made the splurge to the COROS computer quite yet.
What's the retail on one of those?
$250.
That's not bad at all.
Oh, it's a fantastic price. Yeah. The lack of Ride with GPS integration.
I know that's a hot button for you.
I would prefer it were there. I wouldn't be uncomfortable downloading GPX files and side loading them to the, if that's what I wouldn't be uncomfortable doing that. Obviously, ride with GPS integration would be nicer. I don't know if that's a COROS issue or a ride with GPS issue. So it might just be that there's not enough COROS users out there for ride with GPS to have put together the programming themselves for the automatic updates. But here is what I have done. I opted for the COROS heart rate monitor because my heart rate monitor had given up the ghost, evidently. So
Those things seem to be disposable.
This one I had lasted longer than usual, so I was pretty pleased with it, but I was disappointed when it didn't work anymore.
Which one was it?
It was an off-brand.
Okay. Because right now I have a
Solaris, I think,
Okay.
something like that.
Because I have two right now because I've forgotten mine when I went to Colorado and I bought another one, even though I ended up turning that screen off because I didn't want to see it when I was riding. And I told you my woes about mine dying on the little 300-mile route that you put together.
Yeah, I have converted to the ARM heart rate monitor myself, and I tried what is the service that supplies that tracks your steps and it tracks your sleeping, and everybody was doing it a couple years ago. I can't remember.
Fitbit.
It's like Fitbit, but it's something else. I can't remember. Whoop. Yeah.
Whoop, daddy.
So I tried the Whoop for their trial period. It ended up, I didn't care for all the stuff it collected. I didn't think it was worth the money at that point. But when I tried the Whoop band, I decided I did like the wrist or arm mounted heart rate monitor.
That's a subscription service.
The Whoop is. The Whoop was,
I was going to get into that, but then I was like, I forgot. It was like $30 a month or something.
It's ridiculous. But that's supposed to include the upgraded armband each time. But it's not. No, it's not. In my mind, it wasn't worth the $30 a month.
Yeah, let's be fair. I'm not a rich.
And so I think it was like try it for 45 days or something like that. And like on the 44th day, I was like, I'm not doing this. But it did convince me that I did like the armband type heart rate monitors because I've always hated the chest ones. They've always been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Caleb on Sunday turned to me and he goes, "Are you planning on wearing that the entirety of RAT?" Talking about my chest strap. And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Well, we'll see." I was like, "But I want to know my heart rate."
Right.
I don't want to know it real time. I want to know it as an aggregate overall.
Sure.
Because even though I lost the tracking ability on basically my second day of my 3-day trip, I could tell that my heart rate was going down. So my body was kind of settling out. And I was like, that would have been really cool information if I had the overall 3 days. So I kind of felt a little gypped that I didn't have that. But at the same rate, I'm also the same guy that 2 years ago I rode without a heart rate monitor religiously. So I don't know. Maybe it's just there can be too much information.
There can be. So here was my experience. I think it was when I was in Florida that my heart rate monitor started going bad or not working right or something like that. And so I started riding without it and just trying to pace myself just based on feel.
But you can't do zone 2 and zone 1 like that.
No. By feel, you get a sense of when you're moving out of zone 2. But are you in zone 1 or are you high zone 1 or low zone 2? No, you can't differentiate that.
Right.
But it was, for my purposes, it was fine at the time. And I rode for a couple of weeks without one, and maybe what it was, maybe I left the charger behind. That might have been what I thought was the issue initially. I left the charger. I can't remember. But anyway, I thought a full charge would fix it. That didn't. It was dead after I got back home. I went a couple more weeks trying to decide what to do. And what I opted to do was, since I was in COROS curious, it's like, all right, I have to buy a heart rate monitor anyway. I'll try the COROS heart rate monitor and just get a sense of what I think of COROS products in general to begin with. And so far, I've been very pleased with it. but it also told me when I thought I was casually riding zone 1 when I was in Florida and Georgia. No, I was riding at a higher rate than I thought I was. So I was like, oh, I'm lollygagging here, which I was, but I was working harder than I thought I was,
Yeah.
which is good to know.
Yeah.
But I've been so far very pleased with the COROS heart rate monitor. And if my Wahoo does completely shit the bed, I will almost assuredly get the Dura. But after multiple firmware updates, my Wahoo seems to be working again. And that's one of those things. It works for now, but I don't know that I would be willing to trust it on something like the Rat or something like that right now.
Were you having the same issue that everybody else was having, where it was like recording in 2007 or some shit?
Not that specific. It's just the main thing. But this was part of some of those firmware things. It wouldn't start tracking right away, and it wouldn't pick up the sensors. It's like I had to be pedaling for 5 minutes before it started record, or it wouldn't tell me what speed I was going and what elevation I was. But after 5 minutes or so, it would start doing it, but now it seems to do it like it's supposed to. But like I said, it had multiple firmware updates over the past few weeks.
Garmin went through not the same thing, but something
that's very similar.
Yeah, because I know that it's been over a month ago plus where mine would do the same thing, and I would have to toggle the GPS off and then back on, and then it would pick everything up and start recording perfect. But then I also noticed just in the last week, maybe week and a half, every time I've turned my Garmin head unit on, it's wanted to install an update.
Yeah.
So probably 4 updates just in the last week. So I'm sure that they're trying to patch some shit up.
Yeah. Oh, I see you have the COROS heart rate monitors up on your screen.
Yeah, I noticed that it's interesting that it's a running specific product line essentially, other than the one head unit. But this is what I thought was interesting is I would imagine that every one of these watches have a heart rate built in, heart rate monitor built in. So it's odd to me that the heart rate monitor that they do offer is a wrist or arm base.
So the watches themselves are notorious for bad heart rate because they move around and
I get that with this.
Yeah. So but the bands like that seem to me have seemed rock solid. What's really cool about this one, it's auto on, auto off.
Yeah.
So you just put it on your body and it turns on. You take it off your body and it turns off.
That makes sense.
That's nice. And it supposedly has the super long battery life.
Yeah, it says 38 hours of full operation, or 80 days in standby mode.
My one quibble on it, I get it, I dislike it, but it's got an extremely proprietary charger on it.
So does my Wahoo one that I bought.
Oh, really? Because I had the Wahoo rechargeable. I think it was a USB-C.
This
it was a USB.
This little magnetic 2-prong oblong thing.
And everybody, like my new Aftershocks have their proprietary one, where my old ones just had the mini USB. And it's like,
I've got to get some.
I just wish everything were USB-C.
I've got to get some more Aftershocks. They've seen better days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think COROS is, I'm more curious than I've ever been, but I also have zero qualms with my...
No, I get that completely, yeah. There would be no, if you have a 1040, there would be no reason to switch.
But I'm interested to see how their ecosystem develops and how adopted it becomes. I love the simpleness of it, just having the dial and the one button.
Mm-hmm.
I love that aspect, but I'm also wondering how much it limits, and it's also, to me, this is me being picky, but the screen is gigantic and only 2/3 of that is an actual screen.
Well, that's the solar.
Yeah, I get it. And I guess the Garmin is similar, but it's just the band at the top and the band at the bottom, but you still have more overall screen per unit,
Understood.
if you will.
I understand where you're coming from completely on that. I'm one of those, again, with my Wahoo, I am perfectly fine with the small. It shows me all I need to see.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
My favorite thing about the Wahoo is it shows you your turns on there. It does the.
Oh, does your Garmin not do that? Oh, okay.
It just shows you on the map. It says,
Gotcha,
hey,
gotcha,
you're gonna
gotcha.
turn, you're going to turn left in 0.4 miles on
Right.
so-and-so road. It doesn't do the blinker kind of deal. And then you can also set your Wahoo up with your headphones, can't you? So it'll tell you that you're turning right or left.
Probably, but I've never done that.
Okay.
So, because what I do typically, if I have my headphones with me, I will do the ride with GPS on my phone running in the background, and then it's like a car GPS.
Yeah.
Turn right in half a mile.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't stand that. Even when we're scouting and you're doing that all
Wait,
the time, it drives me crazy.
When we're scouting and you're hitting the turns every 2 minutes
Yeah,
at 40 miles an hour.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Just the compression of the timeline.
Yep.
But also, I'm trying to conserve as much battery life as possible when I'm out doing my rides, especially like on something like Race Across Texas. I'm going to be trying to conserve as much battery as possible the whole time.
If you're in airplane mode,
Which
well,
will
you're going to be listening to your podcast anyway, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I will be.
So there's no more battery use at that point.
I mean, I did that on the little 300 jaunt, and there was a couple of times where my headphones would die. That's the other thing, is these things have gotten so old that the battery only lasts maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you do need some new ones before the rat.
So I would throw them in my bag, put them on the
Episode 118-ish, brought to you by Aftershocks.
charge. Oh, I wish.
I am actually an Aftershocks affiliate. So.
Oh, I love me some Aftershocks. But, that was the other thing that I tried to test throughout my little rat prep ride, was just battery, life on everything, and, running my phone in airplane mode, just route finding and, all that kind of stuff. It made me feel pretty confident that I was in line with all that stuff, but never know until you find out.
Understood.
Can't wait to F around. That breeze is everything.
That breeze is sweet. And this is why we have the window van.
Yeah. So many windows.
Well, and that is one thing. So when we were looking at the cargo vans, the intent would have been that we would put windows in. And when you get the aftermarket windows, you can get the ones that tilt out. And when you get these are just static. There's no moving them. But those windows it's $1,000 a window sort of thing. So that adds up real quick too. So Jan was like, I found you a window van. It's like, okay, if you say so, dear. We also had another email. Do you have that one handy?
I do. In fact, I had it pulled up. So this says, it's just a one-liner. It says, hey, I think that e-bikes at Gravel Champs would make a good episode. Last weekend, an e-bike led the front group, giving the chase group no chance. This was spell checked by ChatGPT.
And that was sent
Justin
by
Carey.
our friend Justin Carey.
I'm glad he spell checked it.
Yeah, I appreciate that tremendously. Yeah, so we did have Texas Gravel Champs this past weekend, and unfortunately, I'm very disappointed by this, quite frankly. I'm not going to pull any punches on that. We did have e-bikes that evidently affected the event, and that really pisses me off, to be perfectly honest with you. I guess it's my own fault, though. In the event description, I said e-bikes are welcome, but they won't be timed. If any e-bike signs up for the 80-mile route, please do not bridge other people or anything like that. Do not affect the race. And we had a couple of e-bikers and the people that they were helping that ignored that. So
there was a concerted effort of an e-biker to help an unassisted.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, a group.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's super shitty.
Now, none of those people ended up on the podium.
Right.
but it seems it did affect others. So, hypothetically, maybe the people the e-bike pulled to the front group would have helped the second group over time bridge to the front group, sort of thing. I don't know the level of detail at
See, when
this
I
point.
initially read that email, I guess I give everybody the benefit of the doubt way too much sometimes. But I thought that there was an e-biker there that just kind of did the neutral lead out initially and then peeled off.
No, evidently it was a knowledgeable. I can't remember the term I'm trying to think of right now, but it was It was intentional to bridge others up that weren't. And it's also one of those things. I heard chatter about it from some of the riders at the finish line. I didn't hear any of it from the front riders. I mean, the people that podium, the front riders, they aren't. Don't doubt this. They earned their positions. There's no doubt about that. But it's possible that others that finished behind them may have finished closer to the front if they would have had that. Because that's usually the way it works. Usually you have a small first group after about the halfway point, and then you have a pretty big second group, and then over time that pretty big second group thins out, but it also, if it's a group that finds its groove, they can reel in that front group, or maybe catch the third place person at least.
Yeah, front group splinters off even more, and people get back.
And this course was, and this part I was super happy with the way this course was laid out. About 2/3 into it, it's gonna break up the group no matter what. It's got a really technical Jeep road type section. It's all county roads. It's really cool as hell.
Yeah.
But it's very desolate. It's very back roads. It's very Jeep road. There's hike a bike in it. People aren't going to pedal up some of the hills, sort of thing. So it's guaranteed to break up the field, because the one thing we were shooting for was no sprint finish. We want you to earn your win out there, not soft pedal to the finish line for a sprint.
Yeah.
And that part we were successful in. And my guess is any of the people that got the assistance from the e-bike, that's where they fell back to where they really should be. And more than likely, it's where the e-bikes, I think there were two. I know there was one for sure. I think there were two. I guarantee you the guys riding those e-bikes, once they got into that hike-a-bike section, they fell way off the back. Everybody. Because the e-bike riders look like e-bike riders.
That makes me happy. Speaking of, I know that Austin Whittington was not there, or Stephanie, because they had fell ill. They got a respiratory infection or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's why they weren't there, which makes me sad. But because I feel like last year was when he broke his frame, wasn't it?
It was in that section. In that section.
So I know he wanted some redemption, whether he'll admit it or not. I figured I was excited to see how he went back and handled, but unfortunately he was under the weather. So
Yeah. We've got another bug going around, unfortunately.
yeah,
We've been dealing with it for the past few days ourselves.
That's the whole thing I was talking to somebody about the other day. It was like, not to say that it's easy, but in comparison, it's easy to get ready for the rat, but it's hard to be ready when it's time for the rat.
Timing is everything.
Yeah. Because I'm ready to go right now. But that after talking to Austin, then I started thinking, I'm going to be ridiculously depressed and upset if I get sick the week of the rat or something like that. Like the weekend that I did the little 300 deal, I was like, I wish I could just do the rat right now. And then it's like, okay, I've got to pace myself. I've got to do all the things so I can be ready 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now, And then it's, it becomes that whole taper, keep the legs moving, make sure you eat right, get the sleep, get the rest, take the vitamins, do all the things. Don't overstress, all that stuff. So that becomes part of the whole deal. I don't know.
Yeah, the stars have to align.
Yeah.
They really do, and it's amazing how easy it is for them to completely become misaligned.
Yeah.
It just that one monkey in the wrench or whatever else that might happen, the fly in the ointment, so to speak.
The fly in the ointment. I would not have guessed that this park was going to be a bevy of activity.
I did not expect
We
that.
pulled up and there was exactly one vehicle here, and now there's got to be 25.
And we were like, oh, we're just going to have this whole place to ourselves.
Yeah.
But hey, it's all right.
There's got to be 25 vehicles here now. I never knew that this park even got this much activity. Apparently every Wednesday morning.
Every Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Good to know
Good to know.
for future reference.
And Dan's Bagels was not.
And Dan's Bagels, additional locations have not been opened yet.
They looked real close, though.
Hopefully. So is there a reason we have the Eagle 90 transmission up on your computer screen?
Oh, it's just something I was looking at before. I really want to upgrade my Fargo to the Eagle 90, but unfortunately, from everything I understand, obviously they don't offer a drop bar shifter yet, and I feel almost certain that they won't offer a fully mechanical drop bar shifter. I'm sure it'll be hydraulic over mechanical. So hydraulic brakes and mechanical shifting. And I know I'm in the minority, but I really want to hold on to my mechanical brakes as long as I can possibly do that.
Understood.
That being said, my Fargo is in the shop right now getting new shifters.
Okay.
My older shifters,
The ones you've been dicking with for the past 6 months?
yeah, they were at least 7 years old, and they've seen plenty of nonsense. I did realize, though, after going through my entire shifting setup, that they were just bone dry, and they just needed a bunch of lube in there. But I also didn't want to, carry lube to shoot in my shifters on rat, and I didn't want to trust 7-year-old shifters on a 1,000-mile venture. I don't want to fail rat because of any oversights in mechanical, preparations I can make ahead of time. So I've got new tires, new chain. All my bearings have been serviced. I'm also getting all my wheels, both my wheels checked while my bike is in the shop. New bar tape. I'm trying to make sure I'm as ready as I can possibly be. Even though I'm not racing, I still want to complete.
Hey, you still. It's definitely an endeavor.
So I do have a question too.
Go for it.
Since we're talking about the assists and the e-bike and the helping and all of that stuff, since Caleb and I aren't racing, we're just touring, if you will, and we're party pacing, is it socially acceptable for us to help each other?
Riders can help each other.
Okay. But if we pace each other?
That's fine.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was looked down upon.
No, that's actually encouraged.
Okay. But if we were trying to win, it would be a different story. Riders are encouraged to help each other. Racers are encouraged not to help each other, right?
So the official stance on the rat is it's the right across Texas. Individuals may choose to race it amongst themselves. There is no formal race.
But what does RAT stand for?
Right across Texas, that some people call Race Across Texas.
What is the official?
The official is Rat 1000.
And it's Race Across Texas, right?
It's whatever you want it to be.
It's right across Texas for me, but for most people, it's Race Across Texas.
That's the only reason I bring it up. There are no awards. There's no podium.
Yeah.
It's if you want to race it with other people, you're more than welcome to. There's no.
Yeah.
And we don't record times, except for fastest known times.
Yeah.
Everything else is finished in 7 days, finished in 8 days, finished.
Got you.
So there's no ranking amongst people.
That's fair. I was just curious. I'm not trying to like get you
No.
a stipulation or
No,
make
no,
you
no,
suffer.
none whatsoever. And that's also the beauty of the group to part week, because there's a lot more flexibility built into that, because like the free candy van is considered a trail angel. It's anybody that comes across it, it's not support, it's part of the mix,
Yeah.
sort of thing. There's typically more trail angels available during group to part week, so there might be somebody that's following along that knows you need a tire, and they're going to drive to Wichita Falls on your behalf and drop a tire in the road for you, sort of thing.
Speaking of which, I'm really struggling with tire choice. I put 2.25 Mezcals on the Fargo.
And when I say that, it can't be your friends or family. It has to be somebody that's willing to do it for everybody. So don't milk that.
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking
Yeah.
to people that are listening.
Yeah. The proverbial they.
They.
Whatever. But I put Mezcal 2.25s on my Fargo coming off of the Aspen ST 2.4s. And I don't know if they're any faster.
Like I said last time when you talked about this, if you were happy with the Aspens,
I just don't know about flat protection. That's my biggest.
well, I can't speak to that because
I don't know. They were so good.
I mean, I
Struggling with it. It's
understood.
It's a dilemma. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But also, I do have to comment that I've never bought Mezcal 2.25s before. Those are, without a doubt, the hairiest tires I've
Really?
ever. Let me see if I can't pull up this picture and show you. I have photos on here? Yeah, there we go.
You know, it'd be good right now.
Dan's Bagels.
Damn sure would be.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's red.
What kind of porn do you have going
I
there?
always take glamour shots of red in the pool. It's a sickness.
You're in the right vehicle for that.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
You see, it's not just hairs. They flatten out. And it's crazy. I've never seen tires that are that woolly. It's insane. To the point where I was thinking, like, do I cut all these off? Is this slowing me down?
The weight.
I mean, it's so much. And the pictures don't even do it justice. It's insane. So,
Crazy.
trying to think of what else is going on. I did see one quick thing on industry news that I wanted to bring up. SRAM has filed a challenge against the UCI's introduction of gearing limitations,
Okay.
which I knew something like this was going to happen because I think it's me personally, and I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I think that it's kind of silly to limit gearing on professional athletes because they say
It's supposedly a safety. To address supposedly safety issues is their explanation for it, right?
but you're just going to drive someone to do higher cadence, you know?
I think the argument is cadences are maxed out.
Yeah.
So
it says SRAM.
there's so many directions I could go with this.
Yeah. Go for it. Because I do want to know nuanced perspectives on this because I just think if somebody can push a gear, let them push it. It's an advantage that it's awarded to everybody.
No, I understand that. I don't disagree with that. So ultimately, what this is realistically all about is fueling. It's all about carbs per hour. This has changed all endurance sports, turned them up, and actually cycling was the one that kind of came on later to it, and that's why the elite cyclists all latched onto it so quickly, was because it was proven in running and triathlon, and I think even cross-country skiing and things like that as well, rowing and things like that.
Speaking of which, the new Tailwind flavor that I love a lot, the watermelon, is Courtney DeWalter's flavor.
There you go.
And she's the super badass female ultra runner.
Yep. basically, and there's probably other factors at the highest end of the field besides just the carbs per hour fueling approach. But the fueling approach ultimately has led to the same effect of steroids in the way that recovery is so much better and things like that. It doesn't tear up your body because what tears up bodies in an endurance sport is your body eating itself to get calories and chemicals and macros. The fueling has literally been a game changer, and that's led to the increase in speeds.
But everybody can fuel the same if they have the knowledge and they have the.
I don't disagree with it. I'm saying ultimately that's what the real crux of, if speed is a safety concern, that's the cause of the speed, is what I'm getting at. And it is a higher cadence for everybody, and it is a higher watt output for everybody. There's no doubt about that. But you also get to the reality of it. It is actually feeding your body that much glucose. Is that ultimately more dangerous than the threat of speed? I mean, what are the long-term ramifications to these athletes that basically they're hummingbirds? They're living on sugar every 5 minutes.
That's fair. I don't know. I mean, I guess we won't know for some time what the long-term effects of. In fact, when we were in Mina, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, one of the guys that was with us has switched from Tailwind to straight dextrose. And it's just a generic container of dextrose. And he's doing dextrose and water, and then puts in once again, a generic container of electrolytes. So, and that's from a cost perspective more than anything, is to get the fuel and to do the bulk rides that we do. I mean, I spent a lot of money on Tailwind.
I understand that. And you're getting to the crux of what I'm saying here. Yeah. This is the real issue isn't the gear you're pushing it's what's enabling you to push the gear, and that is ultimately the real safety issue.
But the other thing that I can't help but think about is, like, let's just say, I feel like part of the argument, at least from the people that are pro gear limitation, is, say Johnny put on a 56 one day on his front. His mechanic put a 56 on, and I only had a 54, and I got out sprinted, and I'm crying about that. But I could have put a 56 on, and I just chose not to. I evaluated the course, and I decided.
Well, I think the gearing limitation, and my understanding, the gearing limitation basically spins. It's almost like restrictor plate racing in NASCAR, in that nobody's going to go above 36 miles an hour. Yeah. It just can't happen except for a downhill sort of thing, or whatever. Whatever they determined is their right. So, everybody's just going to spin out. Is ultimately what's going to happen there. Nobody's going to have the mechanical advantage available to them to push the extra watts that takes to whatever the UCI is determined is the appropriate speed limit. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's my understanding of what they're trying to accomplish with it.
But when you talk about like restrictor plates on cars and stuff, I get that, because that's not about strength. It's about handling skills. It's about driving.
No. It's about safety. It was about not sending cars into the stands.
I get that. But
no, it's about safety. And that's what they're saying their excuse is. It's about safety.
But ultimately, cycling is about strength and endurance. And if you're limiting someone, you're basically saying, I don't care if you're strong enough to spin a 60-11 gear configuration. We're going to limit you and relegate you back with people that can only turn a 54-11. Like, to me, you're limiting the stronger riders to make them competitive with riders that could or could not be as strong.
Okay.
That's where
That
my
is,
big hang up is.
I don't disagree with you that that's a byproduct of it. But again, that's a byproduct. Again, going back to restrictor plate racing, that's a byproduct of NASCAR's restrictor plate safety mandate. Was there were engine tuners and suspension tuners out there that can make their cars go faster, that could go 220 miles an hour, where nobody else could get their car up over 205. Okay, so now with the restrictor plates and the aerodynamic restrictions, everybody's in a box that never goes over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same thing, and it's for the same supposed reason: safety. Now, the difference in NASCAR world, yeah, some of it is driver safety because the higher speeds are the wrecks that launch the cars off the track and things like that. But the main thing was spectator safety was the main thing. In UCI world, their excuse, my understanding, was rider safety because there have been the past couple years so many more high-speed crashes with catastrophic injuries. And I'm pretty sure the girl or the young woman that died last year during the Worlds probably is a major factor in all of this, because that was such a clusterfuck.
I don't recall that. Can you give me just the overhead?
So nobody knew. Last I heard anyway. And if anybody knows more updates on this, please feel free to send us an email, shiftlesslive@gmail.com. I can't remember her name. I do apologize. Maybe it was 2 years ago, but I think it was last year. When you get old, the years blur together. It was Road Worlds, and it was either a U23, maybe even a junior. I think it was a U23 woman. And like 6 hours after the race was finished, her family's going, "Where's our daughter? Where's our daughter?" And UCI was like, "Oh, she must have gone back to the hotel or whatever." And they found her the next day, midpoint of the course in a wooded section or something like that. And she had gone off course, crashed, and passed away. But she passed away. She didn't pass away instantly.
Okay, I found it. So it was in 2024.
So
She was 18 years old.
okay.
Swiss cyclist Muriel Führer died from injuries suffered in a crash during the junior women's road race at the World Championships in Zurich. The UCI said Friday she was 18. Führer fell heavily Thursday when she crashed in a forest area south of Zurich. She was airlifted to a hospital by helicopter with serious head injuries and had been in critical condition.
But she wasn't found till hours later, or maybe even the next day.
Wow.
And race officials, I said UCI. Let me say race organizers. Yeah. So I don't know who the promoter. I don't know how all the Euros and the Worlds are all set up versus promoters versus.
That's fair.
But they just pretended like it was a non-issue initially, and I think her family went out on the course to find her, and I think they did, but I don't know that for certain. I may be combining different stories from different events in my head there.
And it doesn't say anything about the time that elapsed or anything.
Yeah,
This could have been fresh off of the heels of that happening, though.
It could have been, but I will say this: the cycling events industry is extremely good at glossing over their death stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend that died at a national level event. I'll say that. I'm not going to go any deeper than that because people will think I'm chasing the cat I always chase, but that never even made a news story of any kind. And nobody's ever heard the details of it.
Was it a triathlon event?
No.
No. Okay.
It was a gravel event.
Oh.
From a national level promoter.
Well, shifting gears, literally. In pack riding, if they elect to limit gearing, are they also going to limit gearing in individual time trial stages at like Tour de France? Is that part of the overall?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that specific question, but I think they already do limit gearing on time trials.
Do they?
I think so.
I was not aware of that. It reminds me You remember forever ago, Colonels used to do a same gear ride. I can't remember if it was 60 or single speed,
Okay.
but everybody had to be on the same gear. And I can't remember what the gear was, but it may have been like 42-17 or something. It was like a 2 or 3 to 1. So it must have been fixed, but they used to do a same gear ride
Okay.
that was very competitive,
Okay.
which is very NASCAR-esque.
There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. I've always been one of those that I've always thought the 5-year age breaks for like USA Cycling racing, I thought that was ridiculous, because it really does it matter if you're 20 versus 60? Sure, it does. But I know there are plenty of strong 50-year-olds that can chew up the strong 30-year-olds, for example. It should be comparable power power to weight ratios that are put up to each other. And actually weight is the bigger factor than age from my perspective.
Yeah, but then you get into, like, when you look at boxing and UFC and you realize that how unhealthy the actions are those guys go through to cut weight, to make weight class. I don't think you want to even start to subject cyclists to that rigor.
You seem unaware of of the dietary issues and the weight regimes of high-end cyclists, and
I really don't know.
it's a major thing. It's a huge. We're back to quite frankly we're back to, if UCI is truly worried about safety of the riders, there's other things that are more overall detrimental to their health and safety than the gear they're pushing.
That's kind of what I was thinking, not in those direct terms, but I think it's foolish to glaze gear limitations as a safety concern. Like, can they limit gears and have less fatalities and wrecks overall? Probably, possibly. But is it going to make for less lackluster racing? Yes, in my opinion.
I think, okay, ultimately, again, my opinion, which is worth what you've paid for it right here. My opinion is this is just a reaction to that wreck last year for them to appear that they're safety conscious. So they have to do something that's across the board.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, if you do put a gearing limitation in there, you're not reducing wrecks, you're increasing them, because more riders are going to be together more often.
Packed up.
Yeah. Will they potentially crash at 32 miles an hour instead of 37? And yeah, there will be, by the maths, there will be some less drastic injuries if that's the case. But if you're injuring 18 riders instead of 8, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we know just for sheer observation, and I don't know how much you watched the Tour this last year, but there was a lot tighter packs, even in some of the stages that would have historically been split more. And it seemed, and I don't know the numbers and the stats, but it seemed like there was way more wrecks this past year. And some of it was just due to shitty course design and poor markings of impeding.
I mean, that's always part of the mix.
Yeah.
I don't know what I didn't watch any of the Tour this year. None. I had no interest in it whatsoever.
And I'm not trying to gloss over the fact that some female died, but it's...
No, I don't think this fixes that in any way, shape, or form.
It seems knee-jerk, and it seems speculative at best.
It's for appearance sake.
Yeah.
It's something that they can implement across the board and point to down, oh, yes, we're safety conscious. Look what we did. But
that was if I remember, I read, it was a downhill section. So I don't think...
So here's the supposed logic behind it. And again, we used up all our battery, which is fine. the gearing issue, and it's definitely tied to the carbs per hour fueling approach, and that's really the crux of it. But it enables people that aren't traditionally would not be as strong of a rider to be pushing a big gear 2/3 of the way into a race that would have already fallen off the lead pack or the second group. It's people that would have already been further back that are able to stay up because of, in my opinion, the fueling changes, and the bigger gears allow them to push a bigger. They may be gearing up. Maybe they're trying to maybe they're trying to do a just and carry, and where they start out as strong as they possibly can, and they're staying with people longer than they normally would in traditional fueling, in traditional training, and things like that. And instead of going 20 miles, now they're able to do that for 40 miles, sort of thing. So instead of being blown off in the first third of the race, they're still around halfway through the race, when over the years, traditionally, somebody that's only been training for 3 years wouldn't be there. There's a lot of supposition, but that's the logic train that's involved here. So people are staying with the lead groups longer than, in higher numbers than they would have in the past. And that's not because of gearing per se, it's because of the fueling change, but it allows them to maybe push that 52 tooth chain ring where everybody else is pushing a 50. And if they would have been pushing the 50, they would have made it to the end of the race, but they still would have been in the second group instead of the lead group. So they're willing to be in the lead group for 2/3 of the race, hoping luck is in their favor. And UCI and USA Cycling they're both very much built around skill-based riding, where they would rather have somebody that's been racing at a high level for 10 years racing with other people that have been racing at a high level for 10 years than have anybody that's only been racing for 2 or 3 years in that mix, sort of thing.
But I think if you limit gearing, as you alluded to earlier, you're going to end up with larger, more concentrated packs.
Again, I don't think it is an actual safety measure. I think it's for appearance sake.
Yeah.
Is ultimately, and the SRAM thing is gone. I don't know what SRAM said about it.
Well, that's what I was going to read to you. So let me read these 2 quick paragraphs. It says, I haven't read the whole article, but this is what stuck out to me. SRAM is challenging the UCI's gearing restrictions for selected events, which we don't know what those are right now, which limit gear rollout to a maximum of 10.46 meters per pedal revolution, equivalent to a 5411 gearing configuration. This restriction excludes drivetrains that exceed this threshold, primarily SRAM's red axis drivetrain in a 54x10 configuration, a preferred choice for many of SRAM's professional teams. And then it says, SRAM is the only major manufacturer whose current pro team setup will be blocked by the new UCI regulations that hinder innovation, limit rider choice, and unfairly disadvantage SRAM riders and SRAM. Now, that's what SRAM is alleging.
That's what SRAM's alleging.
And so basically they're saying, hey, we've got this product line, and now you're going to curb it.
Okay, but let's take that a step further. Let's take that a step further. What if the commonality of 80% of the accidents, including the poor young lady who passed away, what if all of them, 80% or more of them, have been on SRAM Red? Because they're able to do that 10-tooth cog that isn't available to other riders, that allows them to basically override outside their own true capability.
Then I would say that argument has a little bit more merit.
And ultimately, maybe that is the common factor, and maybe that is UCI's way to say this is a universal standard. This isn't against SRAM. We don't want anybody else putting a 10-tooth out there either.
Yeah.
Sort of. We found, because of the 10-tooth, that people with the 5410 are having more involved in more crashes than anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case, but that would coincide with that logic, I guess is the best way to phrase it. And I don't know. And do keep in mind that gearing restriction is fundamental to USA Cycling and UCI for safety concerns. It's something they've had in the junior ranks forever thing. Now, that isn't my understanding, and maybe my understanding is wrong. My understanding was it wasn't about limiting speed. It was more about limiting the abuse on young bodies by tearing up stuff and pushing too hard and things like that.
Well, let me read a little bit more of this. It says, while the UCI has framed the protocol as a safety initiative, no evidence has been presented to support such claims. SRAM's analysis of crash data from the 2025 Tour de France using telemetry and footage found no correlation between higher rollout configuration and crash risk. Crashes on descents were rare and occurred at speeds achievable on gearing configurations from all suppliers for World Tour teams. And it says if you talk to riders across the sport, they are asking for safer racers, for better course designs. Lausberg said, there are things we as a collective can do to help make races safer, but arbitrarily restricting a gearing choice that only we provide to our teams is fundamentally unfair to teams, riders, and SRAM. So SRAM's really making this all about them, not about gear limitations.
Right.
I wonder if...
Well, I mean, SRAM's making it that it's not a safety issue. It's
targeting.
They're targeting us, which they very well could be.
Yeah.
Shimano might have thrown UCI $5 million or whatever and said, hey,
I would like to believe that's not true, but I can totally see a world where that is.
I'm not saying, I'm not accusing Shimano of anything, but we most assuredly live in a world where that could happen.
And this says SRAM spent nearly a decade developing a modern gearing philosophy that has reshaped road cycling and has been embraced by weekend riders and Tour de France champions. SRAM intentionally moved beyond the 11 tooth as the lowest gear, favoring a more innovative drivetrain architecture. Complying with the protocol would require full redesign and technical step back, a process that would take years. That sounds very ridiculous to me.
But you can look at it the other way. I mean, it's not a formula. I hate to keep throwing in the motorsports analogies, but Formula One has been notorious for that. If a manufacturer comes out with something that outweighs the rest of the competition, and it's not viable for all the other manufacturers to do the same thing, they'll say, all right, you're the odd man out. We're not going to have 6-wheel Formula One cars anymore. Yeah. Remember the Elf cars from the 80s with the 2 front wheels? Mm-hmm. They got rid of that. We're not going to have V12 turbocharged motors anymore. Yeah. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying I most assuredly see both sides of it.
Yeah.
I would agree that common gearing standard.
Well, I just wonder if this same argument would be happening if Shimano had a 54x10 drivetrain.
We don't. No.
Yeah. But the other thing is they made
probably not.
They put in other restrictions too, like hood distance.
Hood distance.
And that doesn't seem fair to do across the board either, because you talk about female level pro riders, they have to have their hoods at the same distance as a male. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, in my world, it would make more sense if there was a different standard for the female racers than the male racers.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily viable either, because then you're basically mandating that the manufacturers come out with female and male specific componentry on everything. It goes both ways. But the hoods thing is also supposedly a safety issue as well.
Yeah.
Again, we can always. I'm one of those. Again, going to categorizing based on power to weight ratio or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm also one of those, and I know this would never fly, but one of the things I've always loved about the little 500 is everybody's on the same bike. I like that. That's why I like the IROC racing back in the day as well. You know, it's like I like it to be about the individual. Now, is that hypothetically a limiter if somebody's particularly big or particularly small or whatever else. That's where you start getting into the shades of gray aspect of things. But if everybody's on the same equipment, then things are equalized there. That's all I can say. I'm not saying I'm for the gear limitation. I'm not saying I'm against the gear limitation. I still think it's...
Without further information, I'm against it.
And
it seems like there's more rain moving in. It seems awfully cloudy all of a sudden.
It's cooler.
It feels so good.
It feels awesome. Yeah, and we're plenty deep into this. Should we go ahead and do what we're supposed to here? Oh.
I guess so.
Evidently. I didn't hit a button. It was just blinking. It's telling us what to do. So, Bradford, tell everyone what to do.
Go Bradford, bye.
All right.